Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Tuesday, July 16th, and we are here talking about you, your life, your money, how to make better financial decisions, how to make sure that your emotions are not getting in the way of what maybe you really want to do in your life. And that can be sort of the good and the bad in some respects. Like maybe you're too worried about your money and things are really okay, and you just need to hear it from us. Mark and I are both certified financial planners. We don't do it for business. We do it for the show. And we love to hear from you. If you've got a question, if something's going on in your life, just go to our website, jillonmoney.com. Click the Contact Us button and write us a note. If you want to join us live, check that box. Mark will do everything else. And while you're on the website, check out all of our content that lives there. We've got the free weekly newsletter, comes out on Fridays. We've got the Jill on Money live service. That's where you have access to quarterly live webinars and also bonus video content, all for $35 a year, bargain basement. You can also check out our YouTube show. It's called Jill on Money, powered by the Compound. We've got some interesting interviews coming up. All right, so let's do some emails. Man, these emails, they pile up. Let's talk to Carl, who was very sweet in his subject, which says, big fan of Mark and Jill. Please consider my question. Okay, Carl is 36 years old and writes, I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I've got this wild idea of retiring early, somewhere in my mid to late 40s, so I can live my best life, whether that's exploring the woods or binge watching everything on Netflix without a shred of guilt. Wouldn't that be a funny thing? All I want to do is try to binge watch everything. Okay, so Carl has been hustling for the past 12 years. He says, I've been saving like a champ on a salary that has ranged from $40,000 to $130,000. And guess what? As of June of this year, I have stacked up $1.5 million in my investment account. He's 36, Mark. Okay, here we go. Brokerage account, $858,000. Traditional 401k, $356,000. Roth 401k, $246,000. Roth IRA, $78,000. 15 grand company stock, $28,000 in cash, $4,000 in an HSA. Here we go. Total $1.585 million. I would even call it $1.6 million. Let's talk about sacrifices. This is what Carl says. I'm driving a car that's older than some of my colleagues, sharing space with more roommates than I care to remember, and saying no to fun stuff like trips and dinners out. Here's my dilemma. I stumbled upon the mega backdoor Roth 401k option in 2019, and I've been maxing it out instead of feeding my brokerage account. With early retirement on the horizon and a solid amount in Roth accounts, should I pivot back to my brokerage for maximum flexibility? This is so wild. He goes on to write, picture future Carl, maybe working part-time at a cozy cafe or walking dogs for fun. Income optional. I think the issue here is that we really don't know like what your real life costs you to live, because you're living like a monk a little bit. And so it's hard to tell you that, yeah, you're on track to retire early and this is what you should do. But like, I don't know, it's sort of hard. For example, he's got some extra thing here, so some extra pieces. He says, I'm really trying to make the smartest financial decisions. And while I've done well so far, I'm concerned about getting it right moving forward. With early retirement, there's a lot at stake, and I don't want to end up regretting my choices. Okay, so I would first stop like freaking out about early retirement. I think just like stop that for now. And he said going global is an intriguing option for me. Wants to know about international retirement, etc. And he says, kids might happen. I hear they're like little money pits. Retiring in California is a maybe. Going global is possible. I'm a renter with zero plans to buy a house. Current expenses, $2,300 for rent, then $1,300 to $1,500 for all other costs. So he's living for such a tiny amount of money, Mark. I don't even know. Like he says, my expenses have gone up since moving out of my roommate situation. I have less discretionary income these days, no debt. What's the best move here? How do I set myself up to retire early without stressing future Carl into oblivion? Thanks for your help. I would say this. You've got a lot of money in your brokerage account. I know that you like the mega backdoor. I'm not sure why I would love for you to do an experiment. Here's what I would think. You can keep saving money, okay? You don't have to save as much as you're saving. What would it be like for you, considering that you're spending, oh my God, 36, 4, that, like you're spending $4,000 a month. What would it be like for you to spend $5 or $6,000 a month? And tell us what that feels like. And why don't we look at those numbers and see if you feel more comfortable living and having a little more fun. Let's say that even if it's $5 or $6,000, maybe if you're having more fun, you're not so hyper focused on retiring early. I think you're probably on track to do what you want to do, but there's so many variables. I'm not sure why you'd want to put yourself in that box right now. That's what I would say. Okay. And so we'd love to hear more from you. I would love to get this guy on the air because you're really so hyper focused on early retirement that in some respects, I feel like you're robbing yourself of living for today. And you're so young. You're still saving. You've already done this hard work. Like, it's okay. Let it be. Go spend a little more money. That's what I would say. All right. Give us a holler back, though. Okay. Subject from Kojo, Roth IRA. What do my wife and I do if we contribute to a Roth IRA and then exceed the income limit at the end of the year? They make weekly contributions. They make $120,000, but also a side hustle that brings in $3,000 to $5,000 a month. 2 young kids. Well, I mean, if you go over the limit, then you just have to undo it. So one thing that I would tell you to do, stop making weekly contributions. So don't do it. Wait till the end of the year. And then you can put money in at the end of the year. Why would you do that to yourself? They've got $10,000 in an emergency fund, $15,000 in an HSA, $17,000 in a Roth IRA, $100,000 in a traditional IRA, $15,000 in a brokerage account. So this is what I would tell you. Number one, put more money in your emergency fund for now. That weekly contribution, just put it aside. And that's not, you don't have to do it every week. People are putting a lot of pressure on themselves, Mark. Okay. Hi, Jill. It's Mike from Grand Rapids, Michigan. My living expenses are very low, $17,000 a year. Who are these people, Mark? I have $600,000 in a 401k plan, $50,000 in a Roth IRA, $200,000 in cash. If I take Social Security at 62, I would get $2,100 a month. I could work part-time to pay for health insurance until I'm 65. Why are we taking Social Security early? Doing this would let my investments grow. I can't leave my Social Security to my kids, but I can leave my investments. Most people say to wait to take Social Security so you get more. I'm in good health, but you never know what could happen. If I were to die in 3 years and use some of my investment money to live that, okay, everybody, take a deep breath. 62 is a bad deal. Wait. Just wait. Okay? Every year you wait is better. I mean, even if it were 62 to 63, 63 to 64, just wait. You have money. The money that you receive from Social Security is indexed for inflation, so it's a great inflation hedge, and you got the money to pay for this. I know that anything could happen. You get hit by a bus, but don't we want to deal with the probability? The probability is that the longer you wait, and if you wait just till your full retirement age, right, you could get so much more money. It ends up being 6.5% to 8% more a year every year you wait. And, you know, if you just take some of the cash, live on your cash, don't worry about it, and then claim your Social Security, I have a good feeling that your money will continue to grow. Your kids will inherit the money. And, you know, the more money you get over time through your Social Security, the less you'll have to spend from your portfolio anyway. Paul writes, now that the feds, I like when people say the feds. Okay, let me rephrase that. Now that the government is allowing a $35,000 transfer of 529 plans to a Roth IRA, does it make sense for my 18-year-old grandson to start converting part of his 529 plan into a new Roth IRA. He could transfer $7,000 per year over 5 years. I don't see any downside to the plan since he could still use the Roth IRA for education if necessary, and if not, his Roth IRA got an early start on growing his retirement. I'm wondering, is it possible that this is why they made the maximum $35,000? I don't know why they did. I mean, this is from the Secure Act 2.0. If he were to do this conversion of whatever the maximum limit is of the time, the first thing you have to say is the account open for 15 years, right? And I don't know. Listen, we haven't really seen the use case for this yet. Nobody's done it yet. And I just would ask for maybe a little bit of guidance. I wonder if they're going to say you can't do it that way. But anyway, even if you could, I think it's a little too cute. It's unnecessary. Okay, and last question of the day is from Kevin. I really feel like I've become a little too predictable for everybody. So here's what Kevin writes. His subject is mortgage payoff. Message: I know you don't usually recommend paying off a mortgage, but I have a loan, $327,000 at 6.99%. I have paid off 40%, $135,000 of it in the first 10 months, eliminating the bulk of the interest. At this point, I'm unsure if I should just keep paying it all off or make the monthly payments. I'm divorced, 58 years old. I earn $225,000, and here's what he's got: $650,000 in Roth, $200,000 in traditional, $195,000 in brokerage, $160,000 in cash. I hope to retire in 3 to 4 years. This is what I think. I don't know how you paid it off so quickly. That's what I want to understand. Maybe you don't spend a lot of money. So the only caution I would have is that, you know, when you pay off a mortgage, I get it. 7% locked in, that's a good rate, okay? That, you know, if I got a guarantee, that's a good rate. I just want to make sure that you're not robbing yourself of having liquidity. You do have this money in brokerage. So this is why we're going to say yes to this, gang. He's got $200,000 in brokerage account, $160,000 in cash. He's going to keep, you know, working for another few years. It's not just about the rate. It's kind of like where you are and the fact that you can afford to put the money in there. So I wouldn't pull all the money out of cash to do it because I don't want to leave you depleted before you retire. But aggressively paying off, I think that could make sense for you. So I'm okay with it. Can you believe that we're saying that, Mark? It's shocking, isn't it? All right, listen, gang, if you've got a question about paying down your mortgage, it's all about you, who you are. Give us a holler. Go to JillOnMoney.com. Click the Contact Us button. Let us know if you want to come on the air live. You can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcast. Please leave a rating and review wherever you listen and try to do something nice for someone else today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.